right, so Michael Moore extends his record to 25 wins, 25 knockouts, another event in what has already been an eventful weekend in the heavyweight division. Let's turn our attention briefly right now to what may turn out to be the biggest story of this weekend in boxing, that the potential charge of rape against Mike Tyson in Indianapolis. The allegations arise from Tyson's visit to Indianapolis last week for an event called Black Expo, an event which, as you can see, attracted a variety of black leaders from across the country. One of the events which took place under the umbrella of Black Expo, a Miss Black USA pageant. And you will see here that the hotel in which the contestants for that pageant stayed was but a short walk, about a block and a half, from the hotel in which Mike Tyson was ensconced for the weekend. Police have been told that one of the contestants in the pageant, at the invitation of Tyson, made her way from her hotel to Tyson's hotel, where she was forced to have sexual intercourse with the former heavyweight champ. Here are the statements of police.
There has been a rape incident report made, and it's my understanding that Mr. Mike Tyson has been alleged to have committed the crime.
We're not commenting on the case because we're afraid it's going to compromise the investigation, or it might put the victim or the witnesses or people that are important in the investigation. It might put them in a position where they're going to be harassed, and that's why we've been very careful in what we've released so far.
To our knowledge, there has been no response yet from the Tyson camp, although we are told that the former heavyweight champion is indeed aware of the allegations against him. For more on the story, we're going to take you right now live to Indianapolis to reporter Mike Shue of television station WTHR-TV, who has been following the situation from the beginning of the developing story a couple of days ago. Mike, bring us up to date on whatever might be new in this in the last 24 hours.
Well, Jim, there are a couple of things that are new, and one of you just recently said there's been no response from Tyson camp. That's true. There has been no direct response from Mike Tyson, but there is something which we here in Indianapolis just learned of. Don King says that he really doesn't have any comment. Nobody's talked to me about it. We have to deal with it in the American way, in the constitutional due process way. And that is what is going to happen here. The prosecutor in this case has held off in releasing any information for about a week in this, and speculation is here so that he can get more facts without the giant media storm that will be following this. And that is what has happened here. It all came out yesterday when our station broke the news, and everybody is scurrying to find out all the different whereabouts about Mike Tyson over the weekend. Now, there have been some contestants. There was a woman in the Miss Black America pageant who just today from Miami said that the alleged rape could not have occurred at the time that it was reported in this police report, and the reason being that she was with Tyson at a Johnny Gilly concert until 1:30 in the morning, and the alleged rape is supposed to have occurred at 1:30 in the morning in the hotel room that Mike Tyson was staying. One of the interesting things about this is that Mike Tyson was supposed to stay in Indianapolis on Friday, and the organizer of the Black Expo, the largest black exposition in the country, got an abrupt phone call about 4 in the morning from one of Tyson's bodyguards saying that Mike's pulling out, we're leaving out of here, and he indeed left Indianapolis at 5:45 Friday morning rather abruptly.
Mike, we know that the woman who has alleged this attack was examined at Methodist Hospital in Indianapolis. Do you know if the police believe they have the medical evidence necessary to support a charge of rape?
I'm sorry, Jim, I do not know that. And one of the reasons for that is the police have been very tight-lipped about this whole thing. The identity of the woman, it is our station policy not to release that at all. And I know that her identity is being kept very closely guarded on this.
All right, Mike Shue of television station WTHR in Indianapolis, thanks very much for your time and for bringing us up to date on the Mike Tyson situation there. Standing with me now are the two men who stand to be most affected by whatever happens to Mike Tyson in Indianapolis. On my left, unanimous world heavyweight champion Evander Holyfield. On my right, heavyweight contender George Foreman, both of whom have expected somewhere along the way to perhaps wind up in the ring with Tyson, most specifically Evander, who has a contract to fight Mike November 8th. Are you fearful that the potential for a rape charge in Indianapolis could throw that fight of yours off schedule or perhaps even cancel it?
Well, maybe it would, but I hope that in that situation it's not what they put on Mike Tyson. I hope that it's not what everybody think it is.
So what you're hoping is that in Mike's best interest and in your own best interest that the allegations prove groundless?
Well, I'm looking in the best of Mike's interest. I feel that we can always fight one day. And I think that, the man worked hard all his life to make something of himself. I hate for a situation like that to happen to anybody.
All right, because of your scheduled fight with Mike Tyson on November 8th, my friend George Foreman over here has filed a $100 million lawsuit against Evander Holyfield and his managers, charging breach of contract. George, there have been reports in the last couple days of a possible settlement between you and the Holyfield people. Has there been a settlement? Will there be one?
I can tell you this. I've told my daughters that Evander Holyfield is now bachelor, and I want him to be my son-in-law. He's rich, you know.
Do you want him to give you a whole lot of money to drop your lawsuit?
No, the whole thing is we're going to have a lot of fun. I still love Evander Holyfield. We're great friends. We're hoping that he and Mike Tyson come off for the heavyweight championship of the world, and I'm next in line. And the whole thing is going to be a lot of fun in the end.
It sounds like a lot of rhetoric, George, when you are holding a $100 million club over his head. Aren't you expecting some payment from Evander?
All I expect from Evander Holyfield is for him to stop trying to break my will in the ring, or try to break my will and stop trying to break my jaw.
Well, I'm not entirely sure all of that is true, because Evander, my information is that his side is still looking for some recompense from you, and that's why the $100 million lawsuit still exists. Are you fearful that George's lawsuit might prevent you from meeting Mike as scheduled on November 8th?
Well, not at all. I think that's left up to my attorney. My attorney is handling that matter. And with me, I'm still training and looking forward to fighting Mike Tyson.
He says he still loves you. Do you take him at face value on that one, even though he's suing you for $100 million?
Sure. I don't think it's more of me. I think it's more of whatever the situation is, and my attorney them handling the matter.
What did you think of Michael Moorer tonight?
I think he was very impressive. I think he went out there and proved that being a small guy, he had the punch, and he showed a lot of character and a lot of will, a lot of determination.
If he had a real heavyweight's punch, might he have finished Alex Stewart in the first round when he had him so seriously hurt?
Well, I think in the first round, the fight could have been stopped then. I think Alex Stewart was hurt, and the referee gave him that extra second, and the bell rung. I'm sure if the referee wouldn't have stopped it, if the bell wasn't ringing, Michael Moorer would have took him in the first round.
Stewart showed the same kind of courage and resiliency he showed against you, right?
Well, he showed that he can come back after being hurt, and he came back that second round and hurt Michael Moorer, which showed the determination that he had. But as you see the fight, Michael Moorer showed that he had a lot of boxing skills and a lot of determination, and he was able to catch him with that good uppercut.
All right, let's settle one more thing with George Foreman, because I'm still not sure I've got the full answer. Are you suing Evander because business is business, or are you suing him because you don't like him anymore?
I love the guy. He's the greatest guy. I think he's the greatest champion. He's on the verge of being the greatest champion of all time.
All right, and so you're suing him because business is business. Okay, I got you. All right, well, some answers and some questions left unanswered by George Foreman. That concludes our look at Michael Moorer versus Alex Stewart.